We're breaking down anything and everything Utica City FC related. This is the Keeper's Corner podcast with your hosts, Matt Sterling and Brandon Brooks. Let's get into it. Hello, welcome to another edition of the Keeper's Corner podcast. Matt and Brandon are here. Let's open by saying to those who celebrate, we hope you had a very Merry Christmas. To those who don't, hope you had a good Monday. And to those like me who celebrate against their will, but because family celebrates. Yeah, I get it. Brandon, how was yours?
Oh, hectic as always. We host, so, we do like the separate stuff in the morning, and then we all join back up at the house. And so we've got my in-laws and my parents and a friend of ours, and so it's not a big dinner, but it's bigger than just us. Mm-hmm. But overall, it's always a good time. Always a pleasure to. It's always nice to get the family together. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. Utica gave us a pretty good Christmas gift. 5-2 win over Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
In a game that looked like Utica was going to run away with and then settled down really quickly.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise, considering that first quarter and then a little bit of the second and then crickets.
Mm-hmm. And Utica's basically held scoreless for the final 39 minutes, which that is going to be my stat that tells the story, by the way.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the longest stretch we've seen this year. And it was a chance where the defense really had to step it up. And we watched them cough up leads against Harrisburg a couple times, 2, 3, 4 times over this previous weekend. Mm-hmm. And it was nice to see them hold. They bent, but they never broke.
Yes, that is very true. No, it was, like I said, it was a weird explosion of goals in the very beginning. Mm-hmm. And then at the very least, yes, we were held scoreless for basically, 39 minutes. Mm-hmm. But at least we held Baltimore pretty stinking low. I mean, we held them for basically 20 minutes, I would say, right around there. Because they didn't score until after the scoring at the end of the second. I mean, they didn't score again until middle of the fourth. So on a power play, no less. Mm-hmm. On a sixth attacker power play. So I mean, Utica's defense definitely needed to step up, and they did. And it was, I don't know, it was good to see. I think it would have been nice to have a little bit more possession. Because we did not have that. No, we did not. And when we did, it was pretty flat looking. Mm-hmm. More of those issues that we talked about where this team is really good at scoring in transition. Yep. But the, when you get possession in your offensive third, it still leaves a bit to be desired. Yeah, it was just the way that the team, it kind of almost felt like I was trying to collect my thoughts there, and it just was not working. I really felt like we shifted into a much more defensive posture. Like, not when I say that, I don't mean just like, oh yeah, we have a we have a defensive posture, and we'll quickly shift into offensive. No, it just kind of felt like we were on defense the rest of the game. I mean, I was trying to keep track of, my favorite stat, the wonderful Sogs. Mm-hmm. And I mean, after the second quarter, they were non-existent for us. Pretty much. I think we ended the game. They're generous. They gave us 12. The stats at the game said 9. So we didn't have, we had single digit shots. Now, granted, 5 of those were productive. Mm-hmm.
They were efficient,
but yeah, we just didn't get back on defense at the end of the game.
No, it
or didn't get back on offense. You know what I meant.
Yeah. It almost felt like watching a game from 2 years ago or 3 years.
Yep.
This wasn't the Everton Moreira style soccer. This was a very Ryan Hall-esque game. Get out to a lead and just hold it.
Yep. And that's not a bad strategy by any stretch.
No.
I mean, it worked for pretty much the whole first season.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely a shift in style. And I also think Baltimore wasn't expecting it either. They were expecting us to keep, jamming the ball down their throats, and we just backed off. So I think we threw them for a loop at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't expecting us to just basically turn it into become a turtle instead of the hare.
Yeah, it was a very different look than what we're used to seeing through the first 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
But it was nice to see that Utica could buckle down on defense, because that had been a massive concern.
And that leads into my stat that tells the story, which is save percentages.
Okay.
I have 3 stats technically. Andrew Coughlin coming in with a strong, what was it? I had the wrong tab. Oh God. 92% save percentage with 13 shots against and 1 goal against.
Mm-hmm.
So 12 saves in 60 minutes. 59 minutes, because he was off the field for a blue card, which he totally deserved. Nobody can argue it. Brian Wilkin, for the short 58 seconds he was on the field, 6 shots against, 5 saves, 83%.
Yeah.
Yet again, a fantastic. He proved in less than a minute why he is Brickwall Brian. Like, he stepped up to the plate, he beat a penalty shot, and 4 out of the 5 next set of shots after the penalty kick. Like, what can you ask for from a backup keeper? I mean, we already know that he's well worth being, a primary keeper. Now, maybe not with Andrew, being primary. I mean, Andrew definitely deserves to be our primary, but Brian absolutely is not someone to be discounted.
No, there are certainly a couple teams in this league that are breaking in rookie goalkeepers who could benefit from having someone like Brian to have started in goal for a year or 2 while you get these other guys accustomed to the indoor style.
Yep. Now, I of course have one more save percentage to talk about, and that was Mike Zierhofer. Shots against, 8. Goals against, 5. Big old 30, I'll say 38%. So, and he played 50, just shy of 57 minutes, because they went on 6th attacker for the last 3 minutes or so. So, a very big difference, showing one defense that was, we'll say, I would say very efficient. But a lot of shots did get back to Andrew. But just one defense that was very much on the ball, and the other that, was just kind of it. But it also showcases our efficiency on the field when we were taking shots. We only had 12 shots total in the game, and 8 of those were on goal, with 5 of them scoring. I mean, you can't ask for much more efficiency than that.
No, not at all. Do you have a play that changed this game?
Of course I do.
Okay.
Because otherwise you'd, take me out back with a rubber hose.
I would never do anything like that.
I don't believe you. I mean, yeah, of course. It's what I just mentioned. The Brian Wilkin blocks. Mm-hmm. I mean, if that had gone in on the penalty kick, it would have been a huge momentum shift. Mm-hmm. I mean, that would have completely turned the game around, and Baltimore would have been like, hey, we have a chance in this. Instead, we still made them work for it to get that ball in. And, it finally came down to Moy. I mean, mm-hmm. Moy is a fantastic. He's fantastic on offense. I mean, he was brought up in the. They specifically brought him up in the broadcast, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. Just talking about how he's a powerful weapon for them. Like it took Moy with 6 attackers to get that ball in. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think that would have really shifted those last 3 minutes of the game. And I mean, 3 minutes is you can easily get 3 goals in a really bad scenario, but they didn't. And I think that the fact that momentum shift didn't happen is part of the reason why. So I wholeheartedly attribute that to Wilkin holding the wall.
Yeah, no, it was a testament to how well he did against that onslaught, that the energy in the odd just continued to stay high and cheer.
Yep.
Like, where do you see a team get scored on and the fans still celebrate the goalkeeper?
Yeah. Yeah, he did so good.
It was a fantastic stand. It's just where the ball bounces sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And it found Moy, and Moy found the net. There was nothing that Wilkin could do to stop that shot. It was a beautiful goal.
Yep.
But the fans rallied around that to keep the energy up. Where in years past, we definitely would have seen, that very easily could have been a turning point, like you said. Would Utica have blown the lead? Maybe. We saw that happen once before where they blew like a 5-goal lead in the fourth quarter at home.
Yes, let's open that wound again.
Yeah. Why not? And just because I have to pick something different, I'm going to go with...
Why? You wanted that one?
Yes, I do. Oh, God. It was the best moment of the game.
Ha-ha! Clearly. There's a reason I get to go first. Even though I hate it.
I'm taking Ronnie's first goal that opened it up to 2-0. 22 seconds after Hundelt had found the net to open up the scoring for the game.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about this the past 4 games now. It's one thing to fall behind in the first quarter. It's another to just get sucker punched left, right, and then all of a sudden find yourself in a 2-goal deficit less than 90 seconds into the game.
Yeah. Yeah, just over a minute into the game and you're down 2-0. It sucks the air out of you. I mean, it really does. I mean, if it was the opposite and Baltimore had done it and it was 2-0 in their favor in the odd, I mean, it would just suck the air out of the players and the fans. And
that place would have been silent.
Yeah, it's like, what are we supposed to do now?
That said to the random guy on the broadcast who kept trying to get cheers going, I appreciate that. Because I could only be out there for the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And to your point, I might be a little loud. I definitely heard certain Utica chant starting from a voice in a corner. I was like, oh, there I am.
Yeah, you were, it was very missed in the first 3 quarters.
Well, things come up, and unfortunately.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, and I had some extra freaking voices in there, and we had some SOG chants going.
It was a great crowd.
Oh yeah, no, it was a fantastic crowd. So many people in the beer garden. Oh my goodness, I could not. That place was packed, and they were still trying to get people to buy tickets.
Oh, that place is going to be not standing room only. It's going to be like shove yourself in room only this coming Sunday for New Year's Eve, when every goal nets 50 cents off Miller Lite.
That didn't work out well the last time.
And it was against Harrisburg last time too.
Yeah, it did not work out well. So, I love the promotion.
That doesn't mean people won't be down there. Hoping.
I know. I'm planning on being down there.
I mean, you got the big stein, and you get 50 cents off on top for every goal. You go after like 4 goals.
Yeah, I mean, of course, my rep isn't back in until Thursday, but I still plan on, as long as they can get me a ticket, I will be in there. Because I'm not paying full price on top of my ticket.
All right. Let's get our thing that needs to improve. Oh, excuse me. And I think we already talked about it. That is the half-court offense, or not half-court, half-turf offensive third offense.
Not what I was thinking, but yeah.
Fantastic to score in transition.
Oh, yeah.
But when we have possession, for what limited time that tends to be, it's still kind of a pass it around the edge, see if a hole opens. There's some off-ball movement, but not as much as I'd like to see. You're not dragging defenders around, and that really showed up on the power play.
Yep.
Both of them for Utica. Yeah. The offense just flat. And you can't go like last year where it took 2/3 of the season to get that fixed. You have a tough stretch of games coming up. You need to get that fixed now.
Yeah, I understand that it's totally great that we have an amazing counterattack squad. We really do. But we also need to be good in general offense.
Yeah.
Not just, hey, we run faster than you, and we're going to sink this ball by. No, you need to have a regular standard offense, we'll say, to be able to back that up.
Yeah. And once that gets fixed, this team is sky's the limit.
Agreed. Wholeheartedly.
What would you like to see improved moving forward?
Possession time kind of goes hand in hand a little bit with yours. But I just feel like we have been very much lacking with possessing the ball. Now, of course, we still need to be productive with that possession, but right now we just have not held the ball very much. And I sincerely feel like, that's a problem. We need to be able to hold the ball, keep the ball, and push with the ball versus quick steal, go score, and potentially score, or get a one shot off and I'm done. I love the fact that they're taking these one-off shots. Yeah, I do absolutely love the fact that they are going for those, because that was something they didn't go for in the past. But it can't be every single one, because
there are times when you got to realize. Yeah, there are times you got to realize there's 3 defenders in front of you. You're more likely to hit one of them or have a bad angle and hit around the goal than find the net or on target.
Yep.
Slow it down, set up an offense. No, I'm right there with you. And what is your positive to take away from this one?
I don't want to go with the easy one. I don't want to go with being 5-0. I want to, but I don't want to. I think honestly, I think the biggest positive of this game was just that it, in a way, solidified Wilkins' spot on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know I keep going back to that, but it was such a pivotal moment in this game that if he had been, you know, slipping in the fact that he doesn't play all that often, you know, if his quality of play had been slipping, and the next thing you know, we're getting scored on because, you know, oh, backup keeper, easy peasy, and you know, that's that, then people would start to lose confidence in him at being our second keeper. And oh God, you know, the next time we get a blue card, next time Andrew gets a blue card, free goal, here we go, something silly like that. And it's like, no, on a one-on-one scenario, no defenders to help him out, nothing. And this guy still holds the line. Yeah, they eventually got it in, but nobody cared at that point. Everyone was 1,000% behind him. And I just think that really helped to just solidify his place on this roster and just help with fan confidence in our backup keeper. So I think that was I think that's probably one of the best takeaways I could think of.
Yeah, no, it was a great thing to see out of Wilkin, you know, staying sharp. Yeah. Look, I when you said you thought you were going to take the easy one and then went away from it, I thought the easy one was going to be the continued MVP form from Ronaldinho Diniz. Talk about a career year. He's played 26 goals before this season and had 4 goals and 3 assists in that time.
Yeah.
He has 8 goals and 3 assists in 4 games this year. His 2.8 points per game is Frank Tayu levels. And I know we've been disappointed in Frank so far. You know, he really hasn't found his footing. But holy crap. Ronnie has shown up at a level that I fully was not expecting.
Agreed. He has been bringing it this year. And I mean, yet again, it's showing another offensive option in our roster. I mean, you know, with Gordy being out for what, a week now, I believe it's been
3 games he's missed.
Yeah. So, I mean, with him being out, then it has to fall to next man up. You know, we're missing Nate, we're missing Gordy, and we're missing key pieces of our offense. And what happens? Well, next you know, Ronaldinho's stepping up. I mean, Keaton, oh my God, he was bringing it in this game. Like, he didn't score, but man, was he back and forth. He was all over the place, just pushing and just running his butt off. I mean, it just shows that, like, hey, Frank is amazing, which everyone that doubts him, you'll see. I think so. I think people just, you know, on that front, you got to give it time. Like, he is absolutely. I watched him last season. I think it was for Empire. I mean, he's a monster. It's just everyone knows it, and they're saying, no, we don't want to deal with the monster.
And I think the teams we've played so far have been more apt to say, let's let the rest of the team beat us. Because even still, like, I watched Frank get double and triple teamed a couple of times in this game. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, well, he hasn't beaten you, but everyone else has. So
I've had a couple people that have just brought up the fact that we haven't seen much from him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, have you not seen the coverage that he's under? I mean, the guy's getting, like you said, double and triple teamed over and over again. I mean, what are you going to do with that? It's going to be nearly impossible for you to be able to make accurate shots.
Yeah.
When you have 2 or 3 defenders on you every single time you touch the ball. Like, good luck. I mean, props to him for even trying, because he still tries and they're still close.
You can tell he's getting frustrated.
Yes, you can. And it sucks, but I mean, teams are playing around him so far, and they're getting punished by, like you said, everyone else.
Yeah.
So,
you know, like I described him as the LeBron James of indoor, just because of the career accolades and everything and where he stands. And I guess to further that comparison, I'm going to take it way, way, way back to 2009. LeBron James was in Cleveland for his first time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before he left with the I'm taking my talents to Miami.
Okay.
I'm an Orlando Magic fan. In Orlando and Cleveland were playing in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I was extremely excited to watch the way that Orlando defended and beat Cleveland. Because the teams before that kind of did what we saw from we've been seeing with Frank, is they focused on the best player and they left the other guys open.
Yeah.
Forgetting that these are professionals, and if you leave them that much space, they're still going to make you pay. And what Orlando did was they let LeBron do whatever he wanted. And they shut down all the other options. Because one person can't carry a team for an entire series.
No.
Or an entire season in any league.
No, they cannot.
And I honestly think that as the year goes on, teams will start to figure that out. But for now, they are completely defending Utica wrong if they hope to win.
Yeah, they've been just putting it all they've been putting it all on him, and that's why everyone else is getting in there and saying, by the way, we're still here. Like, yes, Frank's here. Yes, he's great. But by the way, Ronnie here, Hundeld here, Taylor Walter Bond here. Like, there's other offensive options. We don't necessarily need him to produce for us. He has. But most of y'all won't let him. Not that we expect them to just let him hit the ball in, but
yeah, that oh my God. I just looked up that conference series just for the fun of it. You know how good a basketball player is? You know, like a great player is 25 to 30 points, maybe a little bit above that. They let LeBron average almost 40 points a game. And he lost that series. And that's what's been happening here is they're letting the role players and options 2, 3, 4 find the net. Because they're that wide open.
Yeah, and I mean,
as a Utica fan, please keep doing this. I mean, I'd love to see Frank take over and have a 4-goal, 2-assist kind of vintage Frank Taillou game, but the wins are what matter.
Yeah. And it's not like he's not trying either.
No.
I mean, you look at his stats. I mean, he's got 25 shots on 5 games. So he's taking pot shots. But again, they really aren't productive because he's always got 2 or 3 people in his way. Yeah. So it's just, I mean, that's just the way it is. And he's trying to produce for this team. but he's just producing in other ways, assists or just pressuring. He's helping us to pressure.
It'll get figured out as he gets more comfortable with this team and everyone gets more comfortable playing around him.
Absolutely.
Honestly, the way that it had been going, I was more surprised that Mo Ndiaye didn't get an assist in this game.
Yeah.
But Baltimore did a good job, and they didn't give up a lot of set pieces in Utica's attacking third.
No, they did not.
And that's where Mo has been feasting.
Mm-hmm.
So, kudos to them. I think that wraps up this game. We're 5-0. We sit atop the table, despite what some naysayers may claim.
The head of the table.
You can only play the teams that you're scheduled against, and the good teams beat the teams that they are supposed to,
regardless of where they sit on regardless of where they sit on the
tables, the standings, the rankings, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
With that said, let's talk draft. The MASL had their college draft. Utica had 3 selections. They picked based off of where the teams finished last season.
Mm-hmm.
Utica's number 5, number 18, and number 31 picks. With the first round, they took Nate Hanna, a goalkeeper for SUNY Oneonta. Tommy's known him since he's 6. He's been a goalkeeper at the local level.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy calls him an incredible shot stopper with good feet, good distribution, and he has experience playing the indoor game growing up.
Yep.
Not someone we're going to see for a few years.
No, he's not.
The second round, they took Kieran Gilroy from SUNY Oswego. Forward, target player. Tommy thinks he has all the attributes of becoming a really good target forward in the league. Again, probably won't see him for a few years, if ever.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ben Zakowski, midfielder from Monmouth University, experienced D1 player, has the qualities to become a high-level indoor player, and he would be a great addition to Utica in the MASL, is what Tommy says. I didn't go too much more in depth on these, just because we haven't seen any of last year's pieces.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I wanted to wait and see. I think 2, maybe 3 players from last year's draft made it to the MASL. For the college draft, I think the Combine has produced more. But we got to wait and see. Kind of because of that, I wanted to look back at last year's draft. I know you said you couldn't remember, and I had to Google it to figure out who we took.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things of, if we did use any of them, I sure as heck don't remember.
Mm-hmm. So last year, Utica had the 4th, 18th, and 32nd pick.
Mm-hmm.
And they took Colin Buros from Syracuse Soccer. He'd just come off the national championship. He is currently playing in the 3rd tier over in Sweden for, let me figure out how to pronounce it, Vandersborgs IF.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea if I am pronouncing that correctly, but 3rd tier. And I'll just say this to Colin or anyone that may know Colin. According to transfermarket.us, Vandersborgs only plays in a stadium that sits 1,500. So if you want to double the amount of fans you're playing in front of, Utica's the place to be.
Yeah. I mean, it always is.
Yeah. I mean, he plays attacking in central mid. So with Nate injured, it wouldn't hurt for us to be able to say, hey, guy, you want to come back and help play in the middle of the field?
You want to come back and play a game?
He has 3 goals and 13 appearances for them. So
Could be fun.
Could be. Or that was last season with Atan Sodra. So I guess since then he's changed teams.
Okay.
Second round pick last year was Ethan Homler from Binghamton University. Ethan has since transferred and is a grad student, I believe, at Long Island University. He played in all 19 games this year and had 1 goal and 2 assists. I switched back to his bio from when I was on his stats earlier. Yeah, 1 goal and 2 assists in 19 games this year.
Okay.
And then beyond that, you have the 3rd round pick, who I apologize for probably messing up his last name, Leroy Nzugusi. He played for Drake. Previously, he was selected by Nashville FC in the MLS Super Draft. He's played with the Des Moines Menace in USL 2. I haven't seen any stats for him from 2023. It doesn't look like he played beyond 2022. And best I can tell, he is coaching at a youth development team in Canton, Ohio.
Okay.
So that's kind of where those draft picks are.
In other words, not doing anything for Utica.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why, it's very likely that you won't see any of these joining us anytime soon.
No.
So it's cool that we signed them, but
not even signed. I think we just have the rights to,
Yes.
Like if they decide to enter MASL, Utica has first dibs.
Yes. But right now they are, they're not going to be anywhere near the field at this moment.
No. So if, you're thinking like, boy, we could still use an extra defender, and why didn't we draft a defender out of the college draft? Well, this is 2, 3, maybe never years in the future.
Yeah.
That's quick injury update from the guys. From what I've heard, Nate was not supposed to be anything serious. They've held him out. It's just kind of been a little more nagging than expected.
Yes.
Just one of those in a hold kind of wait and see. Isak is out of the walking boot from his fractured foot, I forget which one, targeting a late January return.
Nice. That's good to hear.
And from what I've heard, where we said Gordy's wasn't too serious, shouldn't be out too long, it sounds like he will be making a return to the turf this Sunday.
That would also be nice, for sure.
I could also see them, just holding out since the next game after that is Thursday at Milwaukee. And you're at home, you're playing Harrisburg, and if you wanted someone fresh on the road at Milwaukee, it wouldn't hurt to put a Gordy Gerson well rested into the lineup.
Absolutely. No, he's always a welcome addition on the field. Because we almost always see something out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it would absolutely be great to see him back on the field. So just waiting for that time to happen. And if it's this weekend, fantastic. Don't come back early just because you want to be on the field, though. We want to make sure you stay healthy. That's all we ask.
But that's what I've heard.
Well, you've heard more than me.
It's been it's all positive signs moving forward because we get this last game and then the real interesting 4-game road stretch comes up.
That is definitely going to be where where things change or where, the guys are really going to need to prove themselves is on the road. Mm-hmm. So that's, as we know, that's where we've been called out a couple of times. Mm-hmm. And I think that's not this week. So not going to get into it too far, but yeah, it is another game against Harrisburg. But if we're not winning the ones we're supposed to be, as we've talked about, we don't deserve to win any of the other ones anyway. So as long as we need to continue winning the games we should be expected to win, and keep on that trend, and then we can silence the haters later.
Yep,
that's all it is.
So let's talk about this game, because it is now the fourth time we will have seen Harrisburg in all of a month. And I don't know about you, but it's getting tiring.
Maybe a little.
They've got Glorioso in goal. He's got a .644 save percentage. But that defense is porous, and they are allowing him to see way too many shots, which is why he's given up over 8.5 goals per game. Granted, 2 of those were Utica putting up double digits on him.
Yeah, 2 games in a row in one weekend. I'm sure he's not going into this game excited.
Probably not. Other than that, offensively, they're led by Joey Tavernisi, who is having a bit of a resurgence as the not clear top option, but a top 3 option on this team, top 4. He's got 3 goals and 5 assists through 4 games so far.
Yep.
Danny DePrima's got 3 goals and 2 assists.
He's had some nice ones too.
Yes. Yeah.
Can't even argue that. It hasn't just been at least one was definitely the backdoor tap in, but that was against Utica. I want to say. I don't remember.
But in the season opener, if I remember.
Yeah. But he's also had some really good shots otherwise. Sorry, not to go off topic, but I have the perfect strategy for this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Joey,
let's mention that.
Joey, just come into the beer garden and I'll buy all your drinks. You don't have to be on the field. It's fine.
I was nice and I didn't want to make a joke on, right before Christmas and get put on Santa's naughty list. But it says something when Utica's got players for other teams showing up to watch our home games, because there was not just a Joey Tavernisi sighting. There was a Ben Raymond sighting.
Yes, there was. It just shows how ingrained in this community they are, though.
Yeah, it does.
Like
we've said it before. Once a Utica City player, always a Utica City player.
Absolutely. Sorry, you may continue, Mr. Statman.
Look, we've seen them play 3 times. We're not going to see anything really new. They did re-sign Ty Hall.
Yes, I did see that.
And Utica did let release Ricky Alves and add, oh God, I've already forgotten his, Orozco? No, not Orozco. Transactions.
Orozco.
Added another Ricky. Oh yeah, it is Ricky Orozco.
Yeah.
So Ricky Alves is gone. Ricardo Orozco, who introduced himself as Ricky at the season team member thing back at Bag Square. So we traded one Ricky for another. Alves didn't get a whole lot of time. He played in 3 games, but I have a feeling he'll stick around on the practice squad.
I wish he had more time, to be fair. Like he was decent. He was decent on the turf, and so I hope he sticks around.
Yes. Okay. Let's get our predictions in and wrap this up.
I'm done rapping. I did all that over the past couple days, or over the past week. I don't need to do anymore.
So you're done with your rapping? Does that mean you got an album coming out?
Yeah, didn't I send you my mixtape?
No, I haven't got it.
Should already be in your mailbox. You should go check it right now.
Would you like to share your rapper name with everyone listening?
I mean, we got Double G. I'm just Double B. Double B, baby. I have broken him now.
So when are you going to have me on? They call me the Not So Slim Shady.
Oh, God, it hurts.
Brandon, what was the dad joke I made during the game that got a huge groan out of you? I wasn't going to bring it up, but, you mentioned things that hurt.
I don't remember it. I've been hit with a lot of dad jokes this past few days, so
I can't remember it either.
Who are the most rubbish drivers on the field or on the road? Garbage truck drivers.
Hey.
I've been hit with those kind of things. Actually, I've been hitting people with that one, but I've been hit with a lot worse. So it's just one of those things of I've been hit with too many of them to remember.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I know I had a good one, and you just groaned.
I groan for a minute, but then it just turns around and it's so nice. I just can't remember it. I'm sorry. Can't do it.
It is what it is. Predictions. Do we see a return to the high-flying offense? Or are we going to get a more defensive game this time out?
I mean, full-on pedal to the metal, never stopping offense has been working just fine with Harrisburg. Mm-hmm. As you've mentioned, their defense is kind of Swiss cheese as of recently. And so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, I mean, granted, our last prediction was terribly off. Mine was bad. I mean, mine was 11-9, and they didn't even get close.
I mean, I think I said 9-7.
Yeah. I mean, Harrisburg, our ideas have been a little bit closer. So I will say, we have a trend. We have 12 the first game. We have 11 the second game. I'm going to say 10. I'm going between 4 and 5. 10-5.
10-5. Okay.
Give Harrisburg a little bit more.
Okay. I'm hoping we have turned a corner defensively.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully we get our special teams fixed, because right now we're only finding the net on power play goals 33%, and we are only successfully killing at 40%, which is not to the standard that we expect from this team.
Not where we've been in the past. That is for sure.
And Harrisburg's penalty kill is at 100%, so they are ripe to see that broken.
Yeah, I think we needed to fix that.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say 8-4 Utica.
A little bit more reined in.
A little bit. They played us hard in the season opener. We've seen each other so many times by now.
Yes.
We know what everyone's going to do. We're going to try to run out to an early lead and hope we hold on to it. Harrisburg has shown resilience at being able to come back for at least half a game, if not 3/4 of a game, and or hang around. Going to look like his mom dressed him for his first day of kindergarten.
I'm sorry, the call cut out for a second. What did you just say?
I said Pat Healy's going to look like his mom dressed him for his first day of kindergarten.
All of a sudden, he shows up on the field, as we've seen him do before.
Yeah, I mean, look, if that's what it takes to try to lead this team,
I wouldn't be surprised to see him on the field.
no.
For this game,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'd be a little bit surprised because it's so early in the season, and I mean, I would be surprised to see him actually playing. But I'm not writing it off. I'm not writing it off as an idea.
Given that he plays defense, and their big defense signing was Obasi, who has had more hamstring issues again this year.
Yep.
It would not surprise me one bit.
So, yeah, I mean, it's definite possibility.
You know, people kind of have been crapping on Harrisburg. You know, they're terrible. They're not going to win games. But no, they're playing one of the better teams in this league. Let's see how they do when they get in against, you know, the St. Louis, the Dallas, the other teams that aren't expected to be there come, you know, April and maybe into May.
Yeah.
Like, you look at their schedule. I think they play Friday. Yeah, they play Friday, and then they come up here on Saturday. They go down to Baltimore on Friday. Then they come up here on Saturday. Maybe that'll help them have some tired legs and let Utica open it up. But their schedule is going to be ugly for a little bit. They play at CQ where they've struggled. They come to us. They go to Kansas City. They go to Milwaukee. They go to CQ again, or TU, now that it's no longer sponsored. They come back to play us. We go down there to play them. They don't get any of like those easier opponents, the St. Louis, Tacoma, Dallas stretch of their schedule, until March.
You also can't write them off against Baltimore either.
No,
though,
you can't. You can't.
because they've
Baltimore
beaten them
has not
plenty.
been good, and yeah, Baltimore lost all 3 games at Harrisburg last year.
Yeah, and that was with a second runner-up team for the league. I mean, with only a couple of modifications for playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
but that was a stellar team, and they still ended up dropping a couple to Harrisburg.
Yes.
I mean, so did we. We dropped one to Harrisburg as well. But, you know, they were originally last season beating us more than we were beating them. And then it kind of started to drift more to a 50-50. And now this season, we're running away from them, or we're running away with our series with them. And, you know, they are still a very beatable team to Harrisburg.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I just want to mention one quick thing.
Yeah.
They play Baltimore on Friday and us on Sunday.
Yeah.
Not Friday and Saturday.
Oh, I'll be honest. I am exhausted still from the holiday.
I knew there would be some comment about it. And I was just like, I just want to clear it up that one of us knows that they play on Friday and on Sunday. Guess which one?
I've been out of work for 3 days now. I got tomorrow off. I am very much in that post-Christmas, pre-New Year's Eve kind of fog.
Welcome.
Anything else you wanted to talk about tonight?
Dogs.
We already talked about those.
I don't have anything else. I'm good.
So Sunday, 3 p.m., New Year's Eve, there will be a ball drop for the kids that can't make it to midnight. I am sure that 72 is going to be rocking afterwards.
Yep.
I'm sure the beer garden is going to be a pit of madness.
Looking forward to it.
And let's end 2023 with a 6-0 record.
That is my, well, I can't say Christmas wish. That is my New Year's wish.
Yeah. Well, boy, speaking of Christmas lists, how did we both not mention the fact that visa issues? I think it's because at this point we know that even Santa can't help with visas.
Yeah, that's kind of the main thing. Is
every year it gets worse.
Obviously, I would love to have Toby back on the field. I would love to have Segura back on the field. No, you can't have him in Milwaukee. You know who I'm talking to. You know who I'm talking to. You can't have him. But that being said, you know, it sucks, but we've worked it out before. We'll figure it out again. Hopefully we figure it out before it's a crucial crunch time when we really need him. You know, if the team starts to get injuries, you know, later on in the season, stuff like that, we start, you know, getting that next man up, and hopefully we don't need him like that badly. But I would love to see him be back before that type of situation happens.
Yes. Yeah, the sooner we get this team to 100%, the better.
Yeah.
I guess that's going to be everything for us. As always, thank you for listening. I'm Matt.
I'm Brandon.
Go Utica.
Dogs.
Thank you for listening to the Keeper's Corner podcast on whatever podcast app you use. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. If you'd like to interact with us, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Twitter or X, whatever you prefer to call it. We have a TeePublic shop where you can get UCFC player swag or help support the podcast. Thank you. We appreciate it. And one last thing, go Utica City.